I'm always interested in all the comments that you add to the videos that I post on YouTube. It's really why I do it. And I don't mind whether you agree with me or disagree with me. We want the debate. And one of the comments which keeps coming up, actually again and again, in various forms, is we need a general election because the Prime Minister is not who we voted in. Well, the problem is our system is not presidential. So we don't vote for a Prime Minister, we vote for our personal representation, the local MP. It's our local MP we vote for. Enough local MPs get together, they form a party. The King, previously the Queen, invited the largest party to lead a government. The person who leads that government is the Prime Minister. So in principle, we could have 20, 30 Prime Ministers for any one election. Now, if we don't like that, then I suppose we could opt for a more presidential system. A presidential system, we would presumably then be replacing the monarch. I don't know whether that's an option or whether that's desirable. And anyway, if you want to go that way, why don't you just give the monarch back the powers that were relinquished at the Glorious Revolution? We need to accept the system that we've got. The system that we've got is far from perfect, but it can function. And at the moment, the only way it can function, and the best way it can function, I think, is for the 1922 committee to get together to revise their rules for electing a new Prime Minister, because this one is a lame duck waiting for a Christmas feast, a goose waiting to be cooked for Christmas. She is not going to survive. Even her ministers are already proving to be disloyal. Already. And they're in the middle of the party conference. The 1922 committee need to take this opportunity of the gathering of the Conservatives at the party conference to anoint a new leader. And that leader needs to reach out to ensure the credibility of the government until the next general election, needs to reach out to the opposition, needs to bring opposition members into government. We need to have an election, a government, not an election. The last thing we need is another 6 weeks out for an election. That is self-indulgent. We've had too much of this election stuff, too much. And it hasn't produced a demonstration of democracy. It hasn't produced authenticity. It hasn't produced a government that we can rely on. More of the same? No, we just have to recognize, and the Conservative Party have to recognize, they have squandered the next election. So now we have to ask, what can we do in the meantime? What we can do in the meantime is make sure we are in the best position possible to make the next government, to make that change into the next government. We can, and the Conservatives can make sure in their turn that they are in the best position possible to be in opposition. It's about working in the interests of the nation rather than in the silly little interests of party loyalty, this silly little football flag waving loyalty to this club or that club. No, our nation comes first, and we are in the middle of a serious international crisis. We cannot continue this navel gazing. It has to stop.